Please subscribe and help this channel continue spreading God's message to more people. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss new faith-filled content. And please like this video, because your support helps God's message of hope and love reach even more hearts.
Introduction to Prayer. Understanding the order of prayer Jesus Christ taught. Today we're going to talk about the order of prayer that Jesus Christ taught his followers and why each part matters. Many people pray when they feel stressed, afraid, confused, or in need of help. Some people wonder if there is a right way to approach God. Others only pray during difficult seasons of life. However, Jesus gave believers a pattern for prayer that teaches us how to approach God in the right order. The Lord's Prayer is more than words to repeat. It is a guide that teaches believers how to think, how to trust God, and how to align their hearts with Him. Today we're going to walk through 6 important parts of the prayer Jesus taught. First, we will talk about why prayer begins with honoring God. Second, we will understand what it means to seek God's kingdom and His will. Third, we will learn why Jesus taught believers to trust God for daily needs. Fourth, we will discuss the importance of forgiveness. Fifth, we will talk about protection from temptation and evil. Finally, we will understand why the prayer ends by giving all glory back to God. As we go through each part together, we will see how Jesus teaches us to approach God with reverence, trust, forgiveness, humility, and faith. Section 1. Prayer begins with God. First, let us look at where Jesus begins. In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9, it says, "Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." In simple words, Jesus is teaching believers to recognize God as Father while also honoring Him as holy. The phrase, "hallowed be thy name," can sound difficult because of older English wording. It simply means that God's name is holy, sacred, and worthy of honor. Jesus teaches us that before we bring our needs before God, we should first remember who He is. When prayer begins with God, our attention shifts away from our problems and toward the one who rules over all things. Section 2. Seeking God's kingdom and will. Next, Jesus teaches believers to seek God's will. In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 10, it says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven." In simple words, this means we are asking for God's ways and God's plans to guide our lives. Prayer is not only asking God to bless our plans. Prayer is also asking God to shape us so we can follow His plans. This teaches surrender, trust, and obedience. Section 3. Daily dependence upon God. After this, Jesus teaches believers to trust God for daily needs. In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 11, it says, "Give us this day our daily bread." This does not only mean food. Daily bread can represent the things we need each day, including strength, wisdom, guidance, peace, and provision. Jesus teaches believers to trust God one day at a time instead of living with fear about the future. Section 4. Forgiveness matters. Next, Jesus teaches believers about forgiveness. In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 12, it says, "And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors." The word debts may sound confusing because many people think only about money. In this context, it refers to sins and wrongs. Jesus teaches believers to ask for forgiveness and also forgive others. Bitterness and anger can weigh down the heart, but forgiveness helps bring peace and healing. Section 5. Protection from temptation. Jesus then teaches believers to seek God's protection. In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 13, it says, "And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. This does not mean God causes people to sin. In simple words, this is a prayer asking God to guide us away from situations that can pull us into weakness and to protect us from evil influences. Believers need God's guidance every day. Section 6. The Kingdom, the Power, and the Glory. The Lord's Prayer ends by bringing all focus back to God. In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 13, it says, "For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen." In simple words, this reminds believers that everything belongs to God. The kingdom belongs to Him because He rules over all things. The power belongs to Him because all authority belongs to Him. The glory belongs to Him because all praise and honor belong to Him. The word Amen means agreement and truth. Prayer begins by honoring God and ends by giving glory back to Him. Conclusion. Today we talked about the pattern of prayer that Jesus Christ gave His followers. First, we honor God. Then we seek His will. Then we trust Him for daily needs. Then we ask for forgiveness and forgive others. Then we seek protection from temptation and evil. Finally, we give all glory back to God. Jesus did not simply give us words to repeat. He gave believers a guide for approaching God and living a life centered on Him. Prayer is not only communication with God. Prayer also changes the heart of the person praying. Closing prayer. Now that we have taken time to understand the meaning and order of the prayer Jesus Christ taught His followers, let us now pray the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be Thy name. Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. References. Matthew chapter 6 verses 9 through 13.